What is up, everybody? Kyra Mitchell here, and it is that time of year again. Everybody's getting excited about getting some chicks, raising up some chickens, especially with the prices of eggs lately. It might be even more so this year, maybe similar to last year when a little bit of an egg shortage. Throw the prices up, and people think it's a good idea to get chickens. And I would agree with them. It is a good idea to get chickens. However, I don't want you to be fooled into thinking that it's an economical choice for the most part. But anyway, I got some hatching eggs from my dad. I actually don't have a rooster right now, and so I had to get some from him. If you only have hens, don't try to incubate your eggs. It won't work. But just wanted to walk through kind of the process, the steps that I'm going to do, starting this 21-day process of getting some chicks hatched. And so I'm going to post a link to a page that has some really good, just like step-by-step instructions, kind of where to keep your temperature at and keep your humidity at, and some important notes to take. So definitely reference that. But I'm just using a pretty basic incubator. This is the one. In case you're interested, I can probably put a link to it. And then also a super important note with that is you are probably, dumped out my instructions. You're probably going to want to get an automatic egg turner as well. And so if you're doing this for your first time, I guess I should say, eggs need to be the eggs need to be turned several times per day, at least like 3 times per day, I would say, in order to prevent the yolk from sticking to the edges as the chick is forming. And so that's the purpose of the automatic egg turner, is it keeps that from happening. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, so I've had the incubator on and running for a couple of days now, making sure that it's going to stay at a stable temperature, a stable humidity, so that we're ready for eggs. And the hatching eggs have been sitting on the counter for 2 or 3 days. I think the rule of thumb is like don't let it go for more than a week, but just keep them like room temperature. Don't get them cold, and don't get them hot. They might start the incubation process. But I've got the incubator right now. It's been sitting at roughly 100.5 degrees Fahrenheit and about 55 to 60% humidity, which is perfect. That's right where we want it right now. Again, I'll post the link to kind of give you a guideline. Really, the main thing that's going to change is that you're going to want to continue to bring that humidity up the longer you go. And so let's work on getting some eggs put in here. So I guess as I put the eggs in there, I'll add a couple more notes. Is one, as you're loading them, make sure to put the small end down. As well as if you are having to turn these by hand, one, make sure you're going to be able to commit to doing it. It's really important. And something that will make that a little easier for you is if you mark the area that you're turning from with a pencil. And so you can always maybe like label like 1, 2, 3 or something like that, to be able to know that you are continuously turning them correctly into a different location so that they don't get stuck. These eggs are just a barnyard mix. There's nothing too special about them. My dad doesn't raise anything specific, so we don't really know what to expect. We're just going to expect some colorful chicks, I guess. He gave me an assortment of eggs, so it'll be all different types. Now, when you are getting ready to incubate, I would suggest doing at least a dozen eggs, at least 6, I guess, at least half a dozen. A dozen's better. 2 reasons is, one, it is extremely rare to have a 100% success rate when incubating eggs. It is kind of a trial and error process a little bit, and that'll just increase your odds of having a successful hatch. as well as they are flock animals, and so as chicks hatch, they are going to hear the chirping, and that'll encourage more to hatch. So this is how I'm going to lay them out. I'm going to add a little more water into these troughs. I just feel the outside ones, when I'm first starting, kind of like I was saying earlier, the incubator's been holding at the humidity that, level that I've been looking for, so I'm not really going to change that. And then set my lid back on there and get them started. All right, so there we go. Pretty simple setup process, really, and we're ready to rock and roll. So once you've got the eggs in there and you've got your lid back on, there's your 21 days. It starts then. I turn my turner on, my egg turner on, make sure that that's going to work correctly. I've been monitoring it beforehand, but I'll just watch it with the eggs, make sure they get settled in there. And I'm going to watch my temperature and my humidity for a little bit, make sure it's getting up to where it needs to be. And just kind of along those same notes, I guess, just some extra tips is once your lid is on and you've got the eggs in there, try your best not to have the lid off for too long. I know you're gonna have to put in more water and everything, keep your humidity up, but you want to keep the environment for the eggs as stable as possible. And so at that same notion, I'm in my basement. It stays fairly the same temperature year round. The incubator is able to keep it kind of that consistent temperature, and there's no drafts or anything coming through that are going to cause any issues inside their environment. Besides that, I'm going to create another video on candling. We're able to candle in about 8 days, I believe. Make sure that the eggs are fertile and growing, so that we don't have to keep moving forward with eggs that aren't, and we can start over if need be, or whatever ends up needing to happen. So I'll throw a video up doing that and give that update at the 8-day mark, and past that, getting set up for the chicks, getting their enclosure going. Watch out for that video. I know when you're first starting and you've got your first batch of eggs, you've never done chickens before, and anything like that, if you're in that boat, 21 days sounds like a long time. You're just excited about the chicks hatching. You're always watching your eggs, but we got to get prepared because it'll come quick, and they'll start growing. They're ready to eat. They're ready to drink as soon as they come out. So you got to be prepared for that day. But we'll give updates as we go, and hope all goes well.